Hey there, friends! It's Friday, and I've got another props from the past for you. Going way, way back, I believe this was 2013. Yes, February 2013. This was for Emerald City Comic Con. I was putting together a costume. I wanted to be Robin from Arkham City, the video game. It's kind of an armored shirt he's got there. It's red, like, Robin's shirt normally looks, but it's got like these padded armor bits in them, and I was convinced that I could sew that from scratch, even though I've never made a shirt from scratch on a sewing machine. So I gave it a shot, and this was the result. Whoa, that was silly. Yay! Look at that young fella with a shaved face. I shaved my beard off to be Robin, and I look like I'm about 12 years old. That's fantastic.
Welcome to Prop Culture, your look into the world of replica prop and costume making. I'm your host, Bill Chinbeard Duran. Haha, I shaved. Keep you on your toes. Anyway, it's con season. That's right, con season.
In case it's obvious, or in case it isn't obvious, I did not prepare a script for this video.
I believe KatsuCon just happened, and next weekend, that is in 2 days, we've got Emerald City Comic Con here in Seattle, and then in a few weeks after that, it's PAX East, and then more and more and more and more, and we've got conventions going. So,
when I'm looking at this shot here, I'm trying to pick out the things in the background that are odd. So there's my tiny little drill press there that I don't have anymore. And there's one box labeled PVC. That might be the one box of PVC pipes that I owned back then. I have a lot more now, or at least a much bigger box. It's just kind of cute to see that every PVC pipe I owned could fit in that tiny little box.
So I expect that many of you are working on costumes for said conventions. And I'm right there with you. I started working on my Robin costume a couple
Two cameras.
Ago. This is Robin from Arkham City, and I wanted to take a moment to have you learn from one of my mistakes. So this is what happened. I was planning.
Tell us, Bill. Tell us what happened. I'm willing to bet you tried to make a shirt from scratch with a sewing machine and you hated your life. But please tell us.
The shirt part of the Robin costume, and I decided that I'm pretty good at sewing. So I would just go ahead and sew that from scratch. What followed was a day and a half of pure agony and torture. It turns out that the cloth I picked I was unfamiliar with, and I kept screwing up, and I kept having to go back to the store to buy different needles. There was a lot of swearing involved. It was a hot mess.
The main problem I had, I think, if I remember correctly, was that this was a stretchy fabric. I had never sewn stretchy fabric before, and you're supposed to use a different type of sewing needle in your sewing machine for that. And I think I broke every needle I had, and I went to the store and I bought more, and then I broke all of those, and then I went back to get the right needles.
I'll tell you that much. So what I ended up with was this shirt here. Now, it's okay. It's got these sort of armored things here with foam in it. The stitching on it is, I'll be honest, not great. Anyway, I had these foam panels I had throughout the whole thing there. And what it ended up looking like was kind of like a really cheesy muscle suit. And overall, I was frustrated and tired and really, really upset about the end result. And I sort of had to come to terms with the fact that I'm not that good at sewing. I'm okay at sewing, but I'm not that great.
Still not very good at sewing. Since then, I don't know if I've sewn an entire garment. Most of the sewing I do is like straps and little things here and there, but I'm trying to think if I've actually sewn an entire garment other than maybe a cape or a tabard since then, and I don't think I have. So while past Bill was awful at sewing, he also didn't do anything in the convenient years to get any better at it.
What I ended up doing was leaning on a skill that I've already got. I went to the store and I picked up this compression shirt. This started its life as a plain red t-shirt, just like a Nike t-shirt. It looked a lot like this. And what I then did was I took this shirt and I stretched it over my man here. This is a torso of me. It looks just like me, doesn't it? And I put this
still have
shirt
that
on there, and then using something like this fabric marker, fabric paint, and my airbrush with just some enamel paints,
I don't know why I used enamel paints. It's probably all I had. But I think like Createx acrylic paints would probably be a little better. In fact, that's what I use now, like the Draugr costume, which I actually made later that year or around the same time. I used acrylics. I don't know why I used enamel paints on this shirt. I wouldn't recommend it.
All of this work on the shirt to make it match the source art. And I'm pretty pleased with the results. I am much better at airbrushing and painting than I am at sewing. So instead of
did okay.
trying to do something that I'm not quite so familiar with just a week to go before the convention, I ended up doing something that I'm a lot better at, and I ended up being very happy with the results compared to this pile of mess right here that makes me want to swear and cry. Now, I did some more sewing, some more sort of light sewing, I should say, with materials that I'm more familiar with. For the pants, I put some stripes on them right here.
Yeah, so I did the pants and cape basic stuff. I do want to point out, though, that I have in the past sewn full garments. I did a pirate coat. In fact, one of our Sea of Thieves videos, I think Brittany wears it for the intro sketch. I won't tell you or link what that is, but if you want to go find it, you'll see Brittany wearing a cool pirate coat that I sewed from scratch in about 2011, I think. But that might be the last garment I ever sewed.
Pretty straightforward. And then I did a cape. While not super impressive, totally functional, and I'm a lot happier with this than I am with this shirt. So the lesson to be learned from this is when you're on a deadline especially, and you've got to get something done and you want to be happy with it, try and lean on a skill that you've already got, that you've got nailed down. For example, I've got these foam armor pieces here, and I've done a lot of foam armor builds using Mass Effect armor and some other things.
I think it's adorable that past Bill thinks he's done a lot of foam builds already, because in the 7 or so years after this, that young gentleman's going to make a whole lot of things out of foam.
Past. And that's what I decided to do.
The fun story, though, I'll probably mention it in the video, but the belt accessories, the yellow parts there, are all solid plastic. They are so heavy, but it was the only way I could do it quickly.
Do with the Robin build was to make those out of foam, because that's something I'm already good at, and I knew I could crank it out in a couple of days, no problem. Same thing with the belt here. These belt pieces are actually, they're plastic. They're hard plastic, and they've been cast out of a mold that I made. Casting things out of molds and all that is something I'm already very good at, and I knew I could get it done in a good amount of time.
I'm pretty sure I tried to cast those in foam, like a flexible foam or a squishy urethane foam, but I can't remember why I ended up going with the solid ones. I'm wondering if some reason the expanding foam just didn't work in there. But I do remember just that belt being way too heavy.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, lean on those skills you've already got. Learn new skills when you have the time, and be prepared to fail, like I did. And then go put your costume on and go to a convention. All right? So yeah, we've got, let's see, Emerald City Comic Con in a couple of days, and I will be there. I'll probably be wearing my Robin.
My friend Aaron had a Batgirl costume too. I do remember it was very fun, Emerald City Comic Con.
Costume, and I might be wearing my Shepherd costume. I don't know. We'll see. We're up in the air. I'm planning on doing more interview type stuff. I'm going to be meeting with costumers and picking their brains, so subscribe if you want to see more of those videos going on. And I'll be at PAX East too. I'm doing a panel at 11 o'clock on Friday, so if you'll be there, then come find me.
Pretty cool. only thing I remember vividly from that Emerald City right now is a young woman came up to me because she recognized me because she saw my video on YouTube. Now, pretty common. When I went to Dragon Con last year, plenty of people were like, hey, you're the guy from YouTube. Not so common in 2013. In fact, it had never happened before. I was running around in this costume, in my Robin costume, and a young woman was like, yo, I saw you making that on YouTube. And I was like, what? And that was like the first time someone had recognized me from YouTube. That was pretty cool.
Say hi and see my panel. If you want more updates about where I'll be at what conventions, then follow me on Twitter at Chinbeard. And follow my Facebook page, facebook.com/punishprops. That's it, folks. I'll hopefully see some of you at Emerald City Comic Con. Hooray!
That's it. That's the whole video. 6 minutes long. I did have 2 cameras though, and if you notice in one of those shots, I had an external microphone. So yeah, I was definitely trying some stuff. Around that time as well, that Emerald City was I believe the first time I met Jessica Negri, who actually came to my shop and we built stuff together. In fact, we'll have to do a props from the past on that one at some point, sometime soon, because it was really super duper fun. We cast a space gun together and that went really well. But anyway, my Robin costume turned out to be a really fantastic success. It was a very comfortable costume to wear, especially in 2013 when I was in far better shape than I am right now. And now, I believe I gave that costume to a friend of mine who lives in LA. I don't know if he's ever worn it, but it's possible that costume will make itself known in the public eye someday again. Who knows? I hope you've enjoyed this props from the past. Always a pleasure to deep dive into the cringe-worthy creations we made a while ago and just smile and, I guess, reminisce on years gone past and all the stuff we did back then. Still very happy with it. Still always fun to watch me get excited about the things I'm making, even if it's a constant reminder and how gray my beard has gotten since then. Alright gang, I hope you've had a pretty good week, at least. I hope you're staying safe. We appreciate the support as always. Please take care of one another, and we'll see you next week. Bye!